Back pod stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com.
Good evening, everybody. How are we making out? Welcome to Got Your Back podcast with Jason Strudwick, Ryan Rishaug, Rob Brown, and our man Chris Sabunia. Lots to break down. How are we feeling tonight, Oilers fans? Draisaitl didn't play. McDavid leaving early. Skinner leaving early. We'll get all those details for you and figure out what's next here on the pod tonight. The pod is brought to you by our good friends at Play Alberta. When you gamble, use your game sense. Play Alberta makes it easy to set deposit limits, time limits, and more, so you can play casino games and bet on sports safely, securely, and responsibly. Everything you need to know is at playalberta.ca. And as you can see, I am in the big chair tonight. That's right. The old man has got it all going on tonight. I'm on my studio, my Adrenaline Diesel home studio. All new 24/7 mobile service truck. Ready for roadside emergencies, scheduled repairs, and expert diagnostics anytime, anywhere. For service truck emergencies, call 780-907-1965, extension 119. Again, that's 780-907-1965, extension 119. Oilers fans, how are we doing? That was a great game. I love that game, guys, but lots to talk about as far as injuries. Schauger, I guess you're leaving there as you're driving home. The attitude around Oilers fans to me seemed a little bit creaky as they're walking out there tonight.
Well, concern, right? Concern. So let's maybe not waste any time and just get right to the latest on, what we know, which is not much. Chris Knobloch came out after the game and said no update. So then we followed up again and there was no update. He made it very clear there was no update. I can tell you, as I was walking out of the locker room, I did see Connor McDavid standing in a suit, having a chat with a teammate. Everything looked fine. So I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose anything from a guy standing there. But if anybody's wondering if he's in, an air cast at the hospital, I can tell you that he's not. So he was there, having a conversation, standing up with a teammate. So, I guess I would say my sense on it from what I saw is that I can't see how this would be like weeks and weeks and weeks or anything like that. And obviously they're going to be really cautious with McDavid. So no update really from Chris Knobloch on him or on Stuart Skinner. Not an ideal scenario considering Leon Draisaitl is out. But while we're on the subject of injury, Struds, I will say, if this were a playoff game, like Leon Draisaitl's playing tonight. I don't believe this is something with Draisaitl that is like a significant injury that is holding him out of the lineup. I think they're being smart with something that needs to get sorted out. So summarizing all of that, I would say, without having anything confirmed or knowing anything, I would say my gut tells me that neither one of these are going to be super long-term, but we'll wait and see if we can't get a little bit more information tomorrow. And by the way, I'm going to have to hop out a little bit early here just so people know I'm heading home. But as soon as I get home, I got to hop off the pod because I'm going to do a hit with Sports Center. So I got to go get to my day job as soon as I get home, and I'll leave it in in Brownie's capable hands.
Well, let's talk about what happened and how that happened with Mr. 97 in our breakdown, brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. The 4x4 winter event is here. Get up to $11,200 in total discounts on a 2024 Ram 1500 DT Bighorn at your Alberta Ram dealer. See your Ram dealer today. So for those that aren't up to date, Leon Draisaitl didn't play tonight. I'm guessing a hamstring issue day to day. McDavid played the bulk of the game. Then towards the end of the second period, he was just skating from kind of in on the blue line, kind of tracking around the left side and there towards that area. Got tangled up a little bit with defenseman Josh Morrissey of Winnipeg, and immediately kind of grabbed his, in and around his kind of groin area or somewhere down there. I actually thought he got tagged by a stick and maybe it rang the pills a little bit and he's a little bit sore. Obviously, I was wrong when he didn't come out for the third period, but he skated off, looked uncomfortable on the bench, and didn't come back. So, those types of things, it can just happen. And some, people, I know I got some texts from buddies. Well, why didn't you stop playing if you felt it? Well, most of the time you don't feel anything. All of a sudden you do feel it, right? It's just like your bad back. If you ever injure your back, you're reaching for the eggs in the back of the fridge and the back seizes up. Well, if you would have known it was going to happen, you wouldn't reach for the eggs. So I think that's a pretty big thing for this team now. Their top two centermen out. Schauger, I firmly believe that you make sure these guys are good to go before you bring them back. So Saturday night against Seattle, you don't have Mark McDavid, you don't have Leon, because they need to rest and make sure these things you get on top of it. Because you got to keep in mind, they then play Dallas, then they have a pretty good little chunk of time off. So if they don't play either of them the next two games, that's a lot of time to make sure that these little, I don't know what you want to call it, little issues get ironed out.
For sure. And I mean, I think, in watching what happened to McDavid today, my initial thought was that it was maybe something kind of in that oblique area that, remember he had that core injury last year in the playoffs? Because he kind of grabbed his side a little bit. And then when he was on the bench, like I had the binoculars going and he kind of had his glove off. And it almost looked to me, it was like, kind of the groin area as well. So, core muscles, hip flexor, all that kind of stuff. I mean, we're not going to go too far in trying to be doctors here, but just the way he kind of grabbed at his side makes me think, maybe it's something along those lines. And so, but he's standing up after the game. He's standing there in a suit. Like if it's something where it's significant, you're not hanging around, Struds. Like if it's something that's significant, you get showered, like you see the trainers, you do your treatment, you get yourself showered and you get yourself home to start getting yourself squared away. You don't hang around chit-chatting in the locker room, after the fact. Would that be fair, Struds?
Yeah, and I think that if it was more serious, you might even still be getting treatment, right? You might still be receiving some kind of treatment or whatever that might look like, right? Icing down, a stim machine, whatever it is, massage. So now it did happen then in the second period, so it's still quite a bit of time. And you got an intermission, you got the third period and a little bit of overtime time, so maybe that's quite a bit. But for him to be able to shower, get ready, and do all that, it will be interesting to see. Now, afterwards, there wasn't much said about what it looks like as far as timelines from the big guy, Chris Knobloch. So that's Leon, that's Connor. Let's get to Stu Skinner. For those that didn't see the game, Stu Skinner was run into by a Winnipeg Jet player, pushed in my opinion, and tumbles backwards, is inside the net, kind of grabbing towards his head. And as the concussion spotter pulls him out with 5 minutes left of the game, tied game or a very close game, and he's out the door. Pickard comes in. So any update on maybe what he may be feeling, because he wasn't able to come back in that time, 5 minutes, a little bit of cleaning, and then the overtime minute.
No, honestly, I got crickets for you on that one. Like I didn't see him after the game in and around the locker room, and Knobloch wasn't giving us any update. I think, at first I sort of thought, okay, goalies always, I don't say sell it, but goalies always, anytime there's traffic in the crease, they're not doing their job if they're not, making it look good. But when I saw the overhead, Struds, you get a better sense for the head contact that was there. It was the overhead view, and if you haven't seen the overhead view, take a look. Looked like he took a pretty good bump on the head there. So, I don't think it was a situation where he's trying to sell a call. I think it's a situation where he got a shot to the head, and I do think the player was pushed in there. So, but no update there. And so we'll wait. I guess tomorrow will be I'll head down to practice tomorrow and see if the head coach has any updates on it. So tough, man, tough. Like I give him credit, Struds. No McDavid, no Draisaitl. Skinner gets pulled. Like you find a way to tie the game, you grab a point, and then just a tough way for that to end in overtime. And that was a shift to forget from Darnell Nurse. It's bad enough to make one mistake on an overtime winner, but to make two mistakes on the same goal, that's a tough look.
Yeah, so let's hammer that out. So the Oilers is 3-3. Hyman gets a goal late, and Skinner scored two others actually. So that there's so much to talk about in this game. It's actually crazy. Now they get the puck in the offensive zone. Nurse has strong control of the puck inside it, and he throws the puck down, kind of gives up possession, goes to the Jets. Now the Jets come all the way down, and off the rush, Nurse, he backs in, and he backs in where he's literally sitting on Calvin Pickard's pads, and Pickard's unable to get his stick, he's a right-handed guy, to get it across, and the shot from Connor goes through there. So I feel that it impeded his netminder, and I'm not sure why he's backing up so far. There wasn't anyone attacking the net in that spot. But, oftentimes, I know as a D-man, I've done it before. I'm guilty of it. You back off because you feel safe. You're closer to the net. When in reality, the further you can stay out, the harder it is for anyone to get by you and then try to get a good shot. So, that was a tough sequence for sure for Nurse on that one.
Yeah, and I mean, I thought that pairing struggled early on in that game as well. Walman had a couple tough looks. He had the one really bad, he was out-battled behind the net, ended up in 40 or 50 seconds of just mayhem in their own end, trying to get that sorted out. And he's good for one of those a game. Like there was one last game too, Struddy. It was a 5-bell turnover. Now it didn't end up in a goal against. So, we end up not really focusing on it, but there definitely have been some bogeys in there here and there. That's to be expected. He plays a lot of minutes, but no, on Darnell Nurse, possession is everything in 3-on-3 overtime. It's absolutely everything. It is precious. You have to value the puck in overtime as much as you do at any other point in the game, to me, because it's just everything. And so an unnecessary turnover by Darnell Nurse, and he wasn't under pressure, Struds. That's the thing. He wasn't under pressure. He just kind of threw it away. And then when you watch him back up, he backs up over Pickard's stick. And so Pickard can't come across clean and make the play. So look, Darnell Nurse has played some good hockey, and he's been good for them. There were parts of tonight where I thought he was really good, but just flat out, no other way to call it. That's a tough look in overtime.
Really tough. And, Walman, I thought he had a really tough start to the game as well. And the player you're talking about, he has complete control and kind of waiting for a line change, takes the puck behind the net. And Kyle Connor, arguably the second fastest player on the Winnipeg Jets, the fastest being Nick Ehlers, or quickest. And I don't know that's the person you want to challenge with a little play behind your back. I think that there's other guys that might challenge in that play. But, you're just point. So I think that to me was the air. In that moment is just understanding okay, who's coming at me. It's not, if that's someone maybe a little bit slower, I'd probably go another way. But they didn't get burned there, but the D, it wasn't a perfect night, but the Jets weren't perfect on the other side either. Right. I didn't think that they had their best. And even, we want to talk about goaltending. Hellebuck, that first goal from Skinner, I love that he took the puck, was decisive, aggressively attacking the middle of the ice. He could have passed it to McDavid, and Hellebuck honestly lets an easy one through.
Yeah, no, I agree. And even if it was tipped, some people thought it might have hit a stick or something on the way through, but they were a ways out. So even if it did, come out at a slightly different trajectory, he still would have time. That was just a good shot. It was a good shot from a guy that scored a lot of goals, a good shot from a guy who could really use that feeling I'm sure that goal gave him. I mean, Jeff Skinner just walked over the blue line and beat the best goalie in the world with a snapshot top shelf. I don't care who you are and how many goals you've scored, that's going to feel good, and especially for this guy. So good on him for that one. And then Struds, he's been on the right side of it. He's been working hard. He's been back checking. He's been trying to be good on the wall. He's been trying to make plays. He's been staying positive. And I just think when you do all those things, the hockey gods sometimes reward you. And so Beautiful will play on the first one, and then the hockey gods help out a little on the second one. But good on him. I still am going to say he earned that.
So I want to talk about that second goal. Connor McDavid absolutely flying through the neutral zone, gets it, takes it wide around. And what I love about what Skinner did, it's for a goal scorer, it's not being in the right place, it's arriving there at the right time. And I was sitting right up above, I could look down and I could see Skinner delaying and then coming in late. And, he kind of McDavid comes around and he jumps into that hole just as McDavid's ready to pass it. And now everyone has to react to rather than being there and they can have time to react to already. So just the timing of that arrival was absolutely beautiful. And you're right. I don't think he even touched the puck. I mean, maybe in some way, maybe pushed the stick in. I'm not sure. But who cares? That's 2 goals for Skinner. But isn't it ironic, guys, that he has 2 goals and the night he has 2 goals, his center leaves the game. And like every time I feel like he gets some momentum, he can't, it's something unravels around him, right? Like how good if you could have got the hat trick. Let's say he gets a hat trick and then he goes into the next game with Connor at center and he scores again. Well, that's not probably going to happen, I'm guessing. And it unravels the momentum he has. Like he cannot get a break, this guy. Not one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he got a break on the second goal. I think he's earned enough now that if and when Connor McDavid is healthy, even when like let's say Trent Frederick is around, like Jeff Skinner is going to get more of a look on Connor McDavid's wing. He's done enough now to get more of a look. And if something happens and he doesn't, then we'll be crying bloody murder on this podcast because, like, you can only hold the guy back for so long. He's now – so whenever Connor McDavid comes back, whenever that is, there's going to have to be something crazy happen for Jeff Skinner not to be on his wing. So I just think, you know, good on him. And yes, it's unfortunate that McDavid might miss some time here in the big picture as far as Skinner is concerned, but he has to have put enough credits in the bank, Struds, to get that look again the next time that look is available. And so listen, I think Brownie is available pretty quick here. I'm just getting home and I got to hop in and tend to my TSN stuff. So I'll jump back on the show when I wrap up with that, but it might be a little bit. So you guys do your thing.
Okay, buddy. Okay. See you later.
All right.
We'll catch up. Good luck. So that's Ryan Rishaug. He's jumping out. We'll get we'll get Rob Brown in here. And as we're waiting for that, I just want to I want to clear up what I'm saying about Skinner, Jeff Skinner. I'm not saying that he is going to lose his spot on that line. What I'm saying is that he's got positive momentum going. And his center that he wants to play with, or one of the 2 he wants to play with, is no longer available. So he loses that momentum. So again, it's not that he's going to lose his spot on that line. It's that the line doesn't exist anymore because neither one of the centers is available to exist with or to play with in that time. So I think that's where the challenge comes up. So we got Brownie or no?
Not yet. I'm working on a a Bluetooth issue to get him in here.
Okay, no problem. So let's do this. Let me get into the Relentless Player right now, and there's no rush. We got all night. Relentless Player is brought to you by You Can Use Services. What a time we had last night! It was unbelievable. All of us were down there, had a great time. Their annual Comedy Nights fundraiser was a huge success. They exceeded their goal and raised $360,000. The folks at UCAN want to thank each and every one who came out to one of the shows, donated items, or participated in the raffle and auction. To see how you can support UCAN, visit www.ucancomedy.ca. And we were there, Brownie, Schauger, we had Mean Gene Principe, Blackjack Michaels, they were all there. We had their wives. It was great to see everybody. Randy.
I got the photo here, Struds.
There it is. Look at these all-stars. A lot of fun down there was had. We loved it, and the comedians were great. But thank you. We saw listeners. Some of you came up and introduced yourselves. Thank you for coming and supporting that. Had nothing to do with us, but it has everything to do with UCAN and the work they're doing, which is absolutely fantastic. So the Relentless Player, Oilers penalty kill. That's right. It's everyone who is on the penalty kill. They were absolutely fantastic tonight on the penalty kill. I thought that they did great work. There was 5-on-3, and guess who was in the box? Arguably your 2 best penalty killers. That was on defense, at least, and Nurse and Ekholm, and they're sitting side by side, and that feels pretty bad. Ekholm was already in the box. Nurse was roughing someone up in front of the net, and he gets called, which is pretty rare. Like I didn't see it. I was live. I wasn't looking there. when that happened to you? Because what happens when you're killing 5-on-4 and you're abusing people in front, the ref, before calling it, will usually give you a warning. Hey, take it easy, 43, take it easy in front. And that's your warning. Like, okay, I got to dial it back a bit. And then if you hammer the guy again, then they ring you up. But they're like, hey, man, I give you a chance. I can't let you continue to do that. So that was a pretty crazy stretch, but a great penalty kill. I'm not sure that the Winnipeg Jets, who have the best power play in the league, I'm not sure that their power play looked amazing. I thought on the other side, the Oilers' power play looked like it was missing Leon Draisaitl out there. It was really rough. Oh, there's Brownie. Brownie, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Two things. You're absolutely right. The biggest reason that the Oilers got 1 point in this game and had a chance at 2 was their penalty killing. 100%. Right. And 2, Darnell Nurse drilled the guy in the back of the head. He punched him pretty good. It was that's why, yeah, you're 100% right. Usually if you're cross-checking guys, say, okay, slow her down. But it was like, bang, what a big punch to the back of the head. And that one was an easy one for the referee to call.
Brownie, there's a ton of stuff I want to get to. I think we should though. Let's get into we'll get into the next segment. We'll get into takeaways, but before that, let's get to our poll, because I know that Zuby, you're proud of this one, and you should be. You're an attractive man, and you make great polls. So the YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. The snow is melting, and golf season will soon be here. 2025 equipment is now fully loaded in the fitting carts. DeBoer's is booking fittings 10 days in advance. Call now to get your spot. Get fit to play your best by the team dedicated to helping you play better golf. Visit them at 5311 99th Street. So Zuby, the poll, what is it, my man?
The poll is, which of these things do you think hurt the Oilers the most tonight? And the 4 options are the McDavid injury, not having Leon Draisaitl, the bad shift in overtime, or undisciplined penalties.
Okay. Tight, Brownie, or you have something you want to weigh in there with Brownie for the poll?
I would go with E, all of the above.
I love it. Well, listen, let's I've got some questions for Brownie, obviously. Let's just pause here really quick. We'll come back with some takeaways. Stay with us. We've got a great tune in right now. And we'll have a great discussion right around the corner.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
All right, here we go. We got myself, Jason Strudwick, that's me, Rob Brown, and Chris Tabunia. Ryan Rishaug will join us later. Brownie, got to get your thoughts. McDavid leaves near the end of the second period. Your thoughts on what you saw when he was leaving the ice? Oh, sorry. Before I say that, I got to get. Yeah. Sorry, Brownie. I forgot. I jumped the gun. Time to get to takeaways. Brought to you by Martin Motorsports. Summer is just around the corner, and you want to be ready to take advantage of every sunny day. Visit Martin Motorsports at the Edmonton Boat and Sportsman Show to take advantage of some great show specials on gear, accessories, boats, docks, and lifts, quads, side-by-side, sea-doos, and even ski-doos. Basically, everything you want to have some fun, they've got it. Stop by the Edmonton Convention Center Thursday through Sunday. Brownie, now I ask you, your thoughts on the McDavid situation.
Yeah, he was he was going on a forecheck, and he tried to get a little burst of speed to get around Morrissey, and he just pulled up. And as soon as I saw it, my first thought, he tweaked either the groin or a hip flexor. It just the way he held up. As soon as it happened, he just like pulled up and then just very short strides to the bench, sat down, looked like he was in discomfort. Both trainers came over. And again, I have no inside information, and I certainly ain't a doctor. But just from when I played, you know what it's like when you're – a lot of times it would happen in practice when you were tired. Late in the practice, you're getting bag skated, and you just feel that little tweak. And the first thing you do is you just kind of shut down the stride. You slow it right down because you don't want that little tweak to become a pull or become a tear. So to me, it looked like, in my eyes, it was either a hip flexor or a groin. He tweaked something, didn't want to make it worse, went straight to the bench. And my guess, let's be safe with a Connor McDavid, make sure he's healthy 13 games from now. Today's game, it's great they got a point. It's fantastic if they beat Seattle, but health is everything when you go into the playoffs. So to me, I'm hoping and I'm guessing that it's precautionary and it's something to do with the groin hip flexor area.
Now, after the game, there was no update from coaching staff about what he thinks, and I'm sure they'll reevaluate it tonight and look again tomorrow and maybe have an update at practice tomorrow, which they do. After he left, so no Draisaitl, no McDavid. So Ron Nugent-Hopkins goes from third-line center to first-line center in quick, short order. Brownie, I think he had an amazing game today, especially on the penalty kill.
100%. His game has been trending in the last, 2 weeks. It's been trending in the right way. He's creating more. When Knobloch said that he wasn't moving his feet a lot, so to get him moving his feet, he put him at center. That way you skate way more. You're more involved in the play. You're creating offensively. You're involved defensively. When you're playing on the wing, and I know from experience, it's boring at sometimes. There's shifts where you do nothing simply because you're in your own zone looking at the defenseman. Puck goes in the other zone, you get on the floor. So you don't create. RNH is at his best when he's making things happen. He's been doing that lately. I think RNH and the rest of the players in the third period, now they don't want injuries. They don't want to be without Connor. They don't want to be without Leon. But in the third period, they were playing in positions and situations they don't normally play in. All of a sudden, Connor and Leon would have played 10 minutes each in the third period of this hockey game. That's 20 more minutes for players who don't normally see it in the most important part of the hockey game. Those guys were excited about the opportunity. The Jeff Skinners, the Picols, and the Arvidssons, the RNHs, and it showed in the way they played. They had energy. They probably could have won this game. If they didn't take that penalty late in the game, they might have won this game in regulation. They were carrying the play because a lot of players, led by RNH, were given added responsibilities that they don't normally get, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah, and so I'm not going to say there's a silver lining to these injuries or there's anything good about it. But that being said, when you're on the bench and you know that your two horses aren't there, there's a way better chance your number's getting called. So you're out there all the time. And these guys, whether it's Henrique or Nuge or the guys you all mentioned, growing up, they were the guys on their team that played all the time. When those two horses are, you don't get that chance. And it makes you understand it. Like you understand it. So now you get to roll and get going. So these guys are going to be, even if it's only one game, they're both not in it. They're going to be buzzing and skating and getting opportunities to do what they have to do or can do, which I think is really, really, really important to get everyone feeling involved. Brownie, let's get to the digital soundbox brought to you by Weiss Johnson Heating and Air Conditioning. If it's time for a new furnace, garage heater, or hot water tank, or you're looking to beat the rush on getting a new air conditioner for this summer, act now as the team over at Weiss Johnson are already seeing an increase in requests for air conditioning. Specializing in servicing your existing mechanical systems or installing new ones, Weiss Johnson is here for all your home comfort needs. Visit WeissJohnson.com today. Hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa. We're proud to be
All right, let's get into Chris Knobloch and his thoughts on the penalty kill being aggressive.
That's been the emphasis all year, whether it's 5-on-5 or on the penalty kill. Just moving our feet, having good sticks, and I think typically we're always in pretty good positions. But where we really excel and have a good penalty kill is when we're playing on our instincts, on our toes, that we are ready to strike, whether that's at the blue line on entries or in the defensive zone when there's a loose puck. And I think the guys have been really dialed in and doing a good job on that.
Yeah, and I think, Brownie, that I've said it, and I truly feel this is true. They get confidence and momentum when their penalty kill is doing well. We saw that all last year, and I think we've seen it this year when the team has struggled, that the PK has struggled as well.
Well, you're right, and it's like the double-edged sword, too, because the Winnipeg Jets, they feed off their power play. You have the best power play in the league. That power play is winning a lot of games for you. You're building momentum because you're scoring goals. So when the Oilers kill off the Jet power play, penalty killers, they gain momentum. And the next shift coming out is Connor and Leon usually. And they got momentum going forward. And the team that doesn't score, there's a sag. So all of a sudden there's a big switch in a hockey game. And more so when you're killing off the other team's, when the other team's power play is as good as the Jets. Teams that kill off an Oiler power play have huge momentum swings because they stopped Connor and Leon, and they understand how hard that is. So in tonight's game, 4 penalty kills, including a 5-on-3, including a one in the last 3 minutes of the game, the Oilers fed off of that because the Jets are that effective and that dangerous on the power play. Not only did they not score, the Oilers really limited them to very few chances. So it was a great game for the penalty killers and a big reason they got 1 point and almost stole them 2.
Brownie, well, I want to get your thoughts on Jeff Skinner, but let's hear now, back in the digital sound box, Jeff Skinner on his 2-goal performance.
Yeah, it's nice to contribute. Yeah, I think couple of chances that kind of went in for me. I think you just kind of work for your chances. I think sometimes I've had some better chances that haven't gone in, better looks, but it's always nice to contribute, especially in a tight game like that.
Your thoughts on his game, buddy?
I thought he was very good. I mean, you and I have been big Jeff Skinner fans. We both believe that, and Chogger too, we all believe that he should be in the top 6, especially since the beginning of January he's earned it. I have said all along, I don't think he's going to be, simply from what we've seen with Knobloch and the lack of deployment of Skinner in the top 6. The one way you get ice time is earning the trust of the coach defensively. There's a couple really good plays by Skinner defensively. One where Stuart Skinner got caught out behind the net, open net in front. Jeff Skinner comes back through the blue paint, takes the scoring chance away. That will win you minutes from your coach. The other way is capitalizing on your chances. I really like the fact that Skinner said, I've had better chances that haven't gone in, and tonight they found the back of the net. 100%. Neither one of his chances were a grade A scoring chance, but he creates opportunities. He puts pucks on net. I love the fact that he looked off McDavid and Hyman on his first goal. Jeff Skinner is a goal scorer. You have the puck coming down the middle of the ice, shoot that. And he did. So I thought that was a great play by him. The other one was just going to the net. So if McDavid is healthy and plays Saturday, Jeff Skinner's earned himself another game with Connor McDavid. If McDavid isn't healthy, Jeff Skinner's still on your number 1 line because he was that effective tonight.
This is the question I have for you, and I'd be interested to see what your answer is. Jeff Skinner's going up there, and there's Connor to his left, but you're right. He has a lane to the net. McDavid's probably thinking, he might pass to me. He doesn't pass to him, and he scores. Does that build trust, or maybe not trust, but faith in what 97 thinks that this guy's decision-making is all about, this guy being Skinner?
Well, it's funny. I don't know if you heard him between periods. Actually, probably didn't, because it was on the radio station. They asked him about the goal, and he said, I was going to the net. I probably should have passed to Connor, but I saw an opening and I shot. So it's funny if Skinner goes in and fires the puck into Hellebuck's hand and it's a face-off. As McDavid, you're probably thinking, we had a 3-on-2, probably could have created a better scoring chance. But when Skinner goes in and rifles it through the goaltender, now if you're Connor McDavid, you're like, okay, that guy's got a good shot. Let him use it. At the end of the day, Jeff Skinner's here to score goals. That's why they brought him. They brought him because he's a former 40-goal scorer. He can play with Leon Draisaitl. Well, good on Jeff Skinner. He knows you know what? Don't change who you are. You're a goal scorer. You're in a goal-scoring spot. Shoot the puck. So I think as you look at his line mates, they're like, all right, you can score from distance. Now I know to get you that puck in that place. And guess what? A little bit later in the game, Connor McDavid goes around behind the net, and who does he look for in the slot? Jeff Skinner. So you score one for me, I'm going to find you a little bit later on and get you the puck again because now I got trust that you're going to finish.
So, we've talked about a lot of this game, a lot of elements, the important ones. I guess didn't get into the Skinner, the goalie, but I mean, he left, didn't come back. We'll figure out what happened there. But you got to look ahead.
Well, just so you know, on that one, I don't know if you heard afterwards. Knobloch said that he was pulled because of the concussion. The people in the stands pulled him. That wasn't an injury. He was yanked because of the concussion protocol.
Okay, perfect. So that clears that up. So most likely he'll be available on Saturday night when they play Seattle. But we've got to look ahead, and I'm just guessing here. But even if there's a small tweak, resting whatever it is, the muscle injuries on these two players, McDavid and Leon, I would rest on or go on the side of caution, extra caution, to make sure that these things don't flare up. Because if it's whatever it is, those muscular ones, they can be fine. Also, you give them a little yank and they're a problem again. So heading into this stretch run into the playoffs, you probably want to make them be healthy. So I'm going to anticipate them not playing Saturday night. I don't have any clue, but I'm going to anticipate that. So now we got to figure out what it looks like, the lines, because as I said, Nuge is now the first line center on this team. He was a third line center, 48 hours ago. So when you put it together, I think, do you just keep the Nuge line together? So Paul and I thought they were pretty good. Paul Cole's in with Nuge and Arvidsson, and then who is the next guy up? Henrique.
Well, in all honesty, I probably go Nuge with Skinner and Hyman.
Okay.
And then I find probably maybe Henrique with Arvidsson and Fitzcolson.
Okay.
And then, now, it's funny. It gets hard when you don't have 29 and 97 to throw out there.
It's crazy.
My next line, it's unbelievable. Does Derek Ryan get into the lineup?
I think he's in there
because of this. Yeah,
100%.
I think and you know who you didn't notice again was what's the new kid's name from Boston? I keep forgetting his name. That's on me. I feel stupid because of it.
Who? The new guy from Boston?
46.
Oh, Max Jones. No, Max Jones.
Max Jones. So again, didn't notice him again tonight in this hockey game. So Derek Ryan will be on your fourth line. Janmark will center a line with Kapanen and Perry. Jones, Ryan, and Connor Brown on your fourth line, or you flip-flop. Brown would be up one and Perry would be down one. But yeah, you're right. You take away Connor and Leon out of your lineup, and you got to put together four lines. It exposes you a little bit. But the one thing they will have, Strud, and you know it as well as I do, they will have energy. If they don't have no Connor and no Leon, there will be 12 guys in that lineup that they will be trying to have the best games of the year because every one of them knows they're going to get ice time. And they also want to prove to the coaching staff that 13 games from now, you're going to have to write down 12 forwards in the first playoff game on the score sheet. Every one of those guys that plays on Saturday night wants to be one of those guys. So the Seattle Kraken will not have to face possibly Connor and Leon, but they will face a hungry, energetic group of forwards that the Oilers throw out there.
Yeah, I like the way you phrase that because I think you're 100% right. Now, we should say all the D are going to be healthy and available. I feel like Skinner will be available as will Pickard. But as I was watching that game, even before the McDavid situation, I think we'll see Max Jones come out next game and we'll see Derek Ryan get back in. Now they probably need the extra body, so both of them will probably play. But I would have taken Max Jones out and put Derek Ryan in. That's where I was headed. But your lines are interesting, and that probably is the way it's going to shake out. But it'll be a different looking team. This will have to be a team that is, and I thought they kind of showed it in the third period tonight. A lot of hard work. They were really moving their feet. They're all skating, trying to get in on that forecheck, back checking hard, doing all those types of things, because not that you sit and wait for your superstar to do something, but you're like, okay, I'm just going to kind of hold down the fort till they get out here. And sometimes you think that way, but today they were skating, and we'll have to see the same type of effort. As long as one or both of them are out, Brownie.
Well, you're 100% right. And there is excitement when you're getting more ice time. It's just human nature. And getting ice time in situations you don't get ice time in. 5 minutes to go in the third period. Players that aren't normally out there were getting those chances. Playing against a good Winnipeg team, it's a close game, and you're put in a spot where you can actually be a hero and have a positive impact on the hockey game instead of just being a cheerleader. And I talked on the radio tonight on Ched is the year the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup, they had a ton of injuries during the regular season, and they needed other players to step up, and their depth players became more confident. And when they were called upon, they could rely on knowing that they were able to do it at different parts of the season. So you don't want to go any long stretch without Connor and Leon, but there will be players that will step up and be excited about the opportunity.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense. And we'll see. We'll see what happens here with all these injuries. And we'll get these updates over the next couple. I'm guessing tomorrow, at least kind of a sense of where Connor's at. But it is a challenge right now for this group to figure out where they are injury wise, especially when you have Frederick out, who hasn't played a game for the Oilers yet. Kane, it should be mentioned, Evander Kane did practice with the team today. So that is a step in the right direction. But it's only one step. I think there's probably still quite a few steps to his return, and obviously it won't be till the regular season is over. Okay, Brownie, are you getting close to home, buddy, or where are you at, big guy?
I'm 2 minutes from being in my basement.
Okay, then do you want to pop out and we'll do the scoreboard, and then we'll jump back in and get Brownie points, and Struddy's world of rocking here.
Good.
Struddy, we've also got in the system, if you wanted to run that to
get
a couple more minutes.
Sure.
You take it wherever you want.
Yeah, no, that's good. Let's do that on the way out. So let's do scoreboard right now, brought to you by the Canadian Club. The all-new Canadian Club Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at an incredible 58%. Their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date is a full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and rich oak with a butterscotch finish. All right, 14 games tonight. There were a lot of them. They were absolutely rocking. Vegas Golden Knights beat the Bruins, so the Oilers dropped 1 more point behind Vegas, and Vegas has one game at hand on the Mighty Oil. We find that the Blues beat the Canucks 4-3 in overtime, so that's a big point picked up for the Blues, who are fighting with the Canucks for a playoff spot. A massive, massive win for the Flames, 5-3 over the Devils on the road. That was a really big one. The Sens, who are so hot, get pounded 5-1 by the Senators. And then the Maple Leafs have a big win over the Rangers, 4-3. That's a really big one for that group. Pretty important. John Tavares has 2 goals. He's now 1 goal away from 30 goals, which is pretty incredible rebound season he's having. And again, the Kings, they beat the Blackhawks 3-1. So, the Oilers drop a point to both those, but they also drop their captain and their other guys. So pretty big deal. Zuby.
Yeah, you said by accident, you said the Senators lost to Ottawa. It was Colorado, of course, just for anyone trying to follow along there. It was Colorado that beat the Sens. Yeah, that's a big like running into a brick wall, I think, for the Sens, who things have been going so well for, because that was 5 donut after 2, and then it was only 5-1 at the end.
That's a tough night out. That's a tough night out for the Sens, but they have played well. But it's a fight, man. It's a fight all over the place. All right. Before we go to break, why don't we get an In the System brought to you by our buddies at Long Shots Indoor Golf and Sports Bar. Swing into Long Shots Golf, Sherwood Park's ultimate sports bar and golf destination. Just got even better. We're excited to launch our brand new menu, now featuring family-friendly options and a kids menu. Whether you're teeing off on our TrackMan simulators, catching an NHL or NFL game day specials, or enjoying a great meal with your crew, Long Shots has something for everyone. Come for the sports, stay for the fun. All right, the Oilers are going to need these prospects. Let's check out where they are, Zoobs.
Okay, yeah, we'll do this and then a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Love it.
The Bakersfield Condors won one of their last 2 matchups with the Colorado Eagles this week and now sit 2 points outside of the playoff picture at 8th in the Pacific Division. They lost their most recent game against the Eagles 4-3, in which James Hamlin scored twice. The Condors had a late 6-on-4 power play, but couldn't find the equalizer. The Condors are now 4-2-1 against the Eagles this season, where 6 of the 7 games have been 1-goal games. Drake Caggiula hit the 20-goal plateau this week and is up now to 21 goals for the season for the Condors. He is tied for 17th in the AHL in goals. Matthew Savoy has struggled as of late. He hasn't scored and has just 2 points in his last 5 games. Sam O'Reilly has continued his elite play with the London Knights, posting 10 goals in his last 10 games, including a game-winning goal Tuesday night against the Kitchener Rangers. 2024 6th-round pick Dallin Wakely has been great as of late for the Barrie Colts. He posted 2 goals and 2 assists, including a helper on the OT game winner against his former team, the North Bay Battalion, on Sunday. 2023 second-rounder Bo Akey has 2 goals and 1 assist over his last 5. One of those tallies was assisted by fellow prospect Dallin Wakely. 2023 6th-round pick Nathaniel Day has had an average season with the Flint Firebirds so far, posting a .894 save percentage and a 3.07 goals against average. He has a 25-25-5 record this season. I'm Ryan Reed, and that's what's happening in the system.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at seacolandentistry.com.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
At Struddy's World, core blue liners. And if Shogger's back.
Okay. Shogger's here. Okay. We're back. I'm going to, hang on. I got to get Shogger out of the green room and hit the music.
All right, let's continue. The Oilers lose 4-3 tonight in overtime to Winnipeg Jets. It was an excellent game to watch. I loved it. So a lot of fun to check out. That one, if the Oilers keep playing like that, they'll get their fair share of points. Let's get now to everyone's second favorite segment on the pod, Brownie Points, brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. If you're looking for a delicious way to support your team, club, or cause, Hamel's Premium Jerky offers an easy and profitable fundraising opportunity. Support your club and support Canada with this Canadian-owned business. Raise funds with a high-quality product that everyone loves. Contact them today at albertajerky.com. Brownie, where are you taking us, bud?
Oh, I love the picture. There we go. That's better.
There's our boy.
Hey, Shogger, how you doing?
Welcome
Good to
back.
see you too.
Hey, boys.
We're gonna
Sorry about
we're
that.
gonna start. We're gonna start with 8 brownie points to the St. Louis Blues at the trade deadline this year. Everyone thought that the St. Louis Blues were selling off. Binnington's gone, Schen's gone, Parayko's gone, and they were going to move on from all these players and rebuild. Instead, they kept everyone. And the St. Louis Blues, with a overtime goal tonight from Philip Broberg, assisted by Dylan Holloway, beat the Vancouver Canucks, and they've jumped now into a playoff spot. So the St. Louis Blues, they would be a tough out in the first round of the playoffs, so good on them. I have 100 brownie points to the Oilers penalty killing unit tonight. They killed off a 5-on-3 and a power play in the last 3 minutes of the game against the best power play unit in the National Hockey League. The Oilers penalty killing unit was 100% in the game tonight, and as Struds talked about earlier, to me, the biggest reason that the Edmonton Oilers got a point out of this game, their penalty killing was excellent. I've got 17 brownie points to Oilers' Jeff Skinner. For the second game in a row, Skinner got top 6 minutes, and tonight scored 2 goals, and I thought was dangerous every shift offensively. And then if you want to get into the coach's good books, you want to earn his trust, make great defensive plays, and he did. When Stuart Skinner got caught behind the net, it was Jeff Skinner in the blue paint that was able to come back and thwart that chance. So good for Jeff Skinner in his 17 minutes. I've got 888 brownie points to the grade 8, Alex Ovechkin. And to me, this is just, the grade 8 scored his 888th goal tonight. He is now 7 goals back from Wayne Gretzky's all-time, at one time, unbreakable goal-scoring record. Looks like he might be able to do it this year. And the last one, I've got 191 points to the Oilers tonight, who had to finish the game without number 29, Leon Draisaitl, and number 97, Connor McDavid, who combined this year have 191 points. The Oilers played without them in the third period. Down a goal, they were able to come back, score a goal, tie the game, kill a penalty, and in all honesty, were one fantastic save by Connor Hellebuyck away from scoring 2 points in this game instead of 1. So 91 points to the Oilers tonight, and those are tonight's Brownies points.
Love it. Struds, did you talk about the UCAN event during Relentless Player?
We did, buddy. We got into her, showed the picture. We're on it.
Oh, and was Brownie on then too? Brownie, you talked about it too? Were you on then? Sorry.
That's when I came in just straight at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't get to talk much about it, but fantastic. It was an awesome night. Awesome.
Yeah. It was great. And just again, want to thank the group at UCAN and everybody that shows up and donated. What was it, guys? 360,000, I think they raised this year between the 6 comedy nights. It was an amazing event last night, and it was great to get together with you guys and some family. And it was just, Struds, that event, man, it has just such a great spirit to it. And we're really, really happy and proud to be partnered with UCAN here on the show. And that night is an amazing example why. So we've talked about Kyle Dubé on this show before, a great friend of ours who tragically we lost last year. And this event every year was his, he was the heartbeat of this event. And they've had to do the last 2 without them. And pretty amazing, Struds. The show that they've put on 2 years in a row without Kyle and the amount of money that they're raising, it's such a great feeling.
He would have loved it. He loves that whole thing. He'd be like, hey man, the show keeps going on. And what I loved is there was, I met a couple listeners that were there because of what we talked about. Right. And it's a fun night. It's a really fun night. It's inspiring. There's a young lady who spoke about her journey through the UCAN. It was a special night, fun night to be a part of.
And the comedians were funny. They were funny. The second guy I think he only told 2 stories, but they lasted 35 minutes. And I right afterwards asked Gene, okay, is that what an Italian family's really like? And Gene's like, yep, that's exactly what it's like. So
Principe
it was really,
is
really
a beauty. Cool. He's a beauty because I don't know, I hope this isn't insulting, but he's an easy get. He laughed at every joke that was told the entire night. He laughed at everything. He thought they were all hilarious, loved them all. Nobody at our table laughed more than Gene Principe last night. And nobody took more pictures on the way out of the building than Gene Principe, Struds. It was just a petting zoo with Gene, the legend.
Yeah, people love that guy. They love him.
Yeah. So again, thanks to UCAN, and was a great night. Okay, where are we on to? You know what? I think time for Struddy's World, right? Let's roll the animation.
Nailed it.
Struddy's World.
Let's do it. When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. Gotta look good.
Yes, time now for Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products, Alberta's #1 vinyl product supplier. They offer top quality materials to build a fence or a deck that won't rot, fade, or fall apart. If you need a skilled contractor to take care of the job or prefer a DIY approach, DLR can help set you up with all that you need. Canadian owned and operated, locations in Calgary and Edmonton. My brothers, Rick and Rob, visit them today online. DLRvinylproducts.ca. Struddy.
Stop it. Stop hitting forwards onto your goalie, D-men. I don't understand the thought process behind this. You can watch an NHL game, you see it doing. You hit out, you don't hit in. Today, Colin Miller hit Zach Hyman into his goalie. Now, didn't fall on him, but he interfered with his ability, Hellebuck's ability to stop the puck. And Hyman had stopped. He stopped just inside the blue paint. He was safe. He wasn't going to do anything. And Miller literally cross-checked him right into the line of fire and upset his goalie's ability to stop it. I don't understand it. The first time I got to the NHL, the guy says you never hit anyone towards your goalie. You always hit out. Otherwise, you grab him and pull him out because we don't want someone falling. Think if that was Corey Perry. Do you think he would have accidentally fallen on top of Hellebuck? You better believe it. So just stop it. Don't do it. I don't understand it. And goalies hate it when you do it because they're scared of getting hurt. Enough said. Don't do it.
Well, I mean, in Edmonton, it's still a sore spot. I mean, Marc-Andre Bergeron hitting the guy in front, the Carolina. I can't remember who he hit, but he hit into Rolly, the goalie, Dwayne Rollison, knocked Rollison out of the series, possibly lost the Edmonton Oilers a Stanley Cup. Now, I haven't seen a replay, but wasn't tonight Stuart Skinner? Didn't a guy get hit into Stuart Skinner as well when he left the game? So I don't understand it either. To me, it's the same thing as in football when the guy is 1 yard short of a first down and the tackle from behind comes and tackles him forward and he gets the first down. Like, no. So, 100% a goaltender is vulnerable. He is not looking at the player that's coming to hit him. And all of a sudden you knock the guy right into him. So, and you're right. As a player, as a forward, you always accidentally on purpose fall.
Always.
To disrupt the goaltender. So, I don't understand that one either. And it cost the Jets tonight a goal. Hellebuck probably is going to stop the puck that you could have stopped with your hand. It was going so slow. But he got bumped. He couldn't see because Hyman was thrown in front of him. And the puck goes in the net.
A wild field mouse with a toothpick could have stopped that puck.
So here is a member of the D fraternity chastising the D for pushing forwards into the goaltender?
It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. And quite honestly, if we're doing that, usually, not all the time, means you're on the wrong side of the guy. You want to be on the inside of the ice. You want him on the outside of the ice. So you're desperate, and you make that play.
So where do you come out on a defenseman just backing up himself onto his goaltender?
Yeah, I touched on that.
Where do you come out on that one?
I touched on that one. Yeah, the overtime goal. Darnell, you know what? That was a long ways back. So he'd like to have that one back for sure. And I'm not sure where he thought he was on the ice like that. Usually you have an awareness of where you are, and you feel safe coming back to your goalie, but I don't think maybe he lost track of kind of where he was on the ice because that was a long way back.
Well, he started the sequence himself where he had the puck on the offensive blue line, and 3-on-3 is all about puck possession. And Darnell Nurse didn't have a play. Now playing with guys that aren't normally out there with him, he was with Arvidsson and Walman, and he just threw the puck in the corner, more or less gave the Jets the puck. And then all of a sudden, the Oilers never touched it again.
But let's be honest, guys. With Connor and Leon both gone, you have a lot of guys out there 3-on-3 that aren't normally out there. They're not really sure what to do. Like how many times 100%. Have we seen Arvidsson Walman or Nurse out there in 3-on-3 this year.
Well, and then all together. So they would have been tough for those guys.
Nurse
and
gets looks 3-on-3. He gets regular looks at 3-on-3. He's the second.
He does. More so. He's second or third. But the three of them together, there would have been no chemistry. And the Jets took advantage of it. They crisscrossed and got the puck in the best goal scorer's hands, and he made no mistake.
Okay. Get a call a little bit of an audible because I feel like I just want more Rob Brown tonight. I'm not ready for Rob Brown to just turn his microphone and camera off and go to bed. I want more Rob Brown. So Zuby, let's do our Take a Lap segment and let's get Brownie in on that so he can drop his opinion in on a couple of things that Struddy wants to get to. We'll give you a second to prep that, Zuby. I do have one question I want to ask. You good? You got something, Zuby?
Yeah, I have one other thing I wanted to get to. It felt like it should come on the end of Struddy's world here, which is our friend Klima's Lid in the chat. He's got a pair of tickets to the Oilers game, the Oilers Blues game on April 9th that he wants to give away to someone in the chat tonight. So him and I have been going back and forth on this, and so this is what we set up. It may already be a done deal, but I just wanted to, first of all, thank him for his generosity. What we basically did is we set up, I let him choose a trivia question, and we said we'll get the first person to email the correct answer to the trivia question to the gybpod@gmail.com email address, and then we'll connect them through there. But this is Klima's Lid. He came up with this trivia question.
Love it.
When Struddy was traded from the Islanders to Vancouver, who was he traded for? So
nobody.
It wasn't Pavel Bure.
How many pucks were in the bucket that
gybpod@gmail.com. That is our email address. So send your answer to gybpod@gmail.com. And thank you, Klima's Lid. We love that. We love that you did that.
Yeah, super
much
cool.
Appreciated. Before we get to Take a Lap, I just want to make sure I ask. I'm really interested in your answer on this one, guys. A number of games now with Jake Walman. Struds, what do you think of the way he plays 2-on-1s? And I know you hate sliding, but was tonight one of the ones, because he's not a slider, was tonight one of the ones where maybe he could have?
Yeah, so a couple things. Yes, for sure. That could have been a slide there because he was kind of turned around and really wasn't taking away the pass. 2, never trust a forward. The forwards were cheating on the offensive side of the puck, and it was just really bad played by the forwards. That was where the issue really started on that situation.
Well, it's funny. In the second period, the Oilers were not good defensively. They gave up 4 2-on-1s and a partial breakaway. I mean, the one Darnell Nurse, he's tried holding the puck in the blue line, couldn't, but fought for it, and still no forward came back at all. It turned into a 2-on-1. The game could have got away from the Oilers in the second period if the Jets could finish. As a forward on a 2-on-1, the last thing I ever want to see is a defenseman lay down. I hate that because it forces you have one choice now. If the defenseman lays down, you have to shoot. And I hated shooting. I like backdoor tap-ins. So I go against it. I think if the defenseman, every chance you can, you got to do it at the right time, but you have to dive and take that pass away 100%. If I'm a forward, I want the defenseman to stand up, because if the defenseman stands up, I will beat you 100 out of 100 times. I will pass through you. If you lie down, you have a better chance of stopping me.
It's a few times, Strud, isn't it, where he tries to intercept the pass, and he almost gets turned around facing the goalie to the point of trying to intercept the pass. So the way he handles them, it looks different to me.
Yeah, I like how he won't acknowledge that the forwards were at fault here, because Brownie makes the good point. Like, it was stalled at the blue line, and still no one came back. And I noticed a couple
100%.
other times where D-men were pinching, and it was in that second period, Brownie, where the D-men are pinching, and the forwards, instead of reloading above the D-men pinching, they went on the short side. Guess where the puck went? On the other side of the D-men. So just little details. And as a coach, that troubles me, because if Conrad and Leon are cheating to that side, I can live with that. When it's Paul Colson, you better cheat or not cheat. You better go to the defensive side of the puck, because that's where it's going to come, and you knock it in. And it was one specific to the right side I remember seeing where he cheated short side. The puck went right where he would have been. So, like, those details make a difference, and that to me that limits your ice time.
You're right. The Oilers gave up way too many 2-on-1s, but is going for that Walman. I want a defenseman to try and block my pass. I do.
Yeah.
I'll beat you every time. There's no way that you can move your hands as fast as I can pass a puck. Never. And the guys in the National Hockey League will make you pay every single time. Every time. So to me, you've got to plan, you got to lay down at the right moment or go force that guy. But you cannot try to knock down a pass. Ain't going to happen.
And remember, everybody in unison now, the most important thing, never trust a forward.
Yeah, that's the take home. Write that down. Write that down in your diaries tonight.
I don't, Struddy, I don't know if you saw I put that as like the in our March Madness bracket thing for Struddy's World. I put that as like the subtitle, never trust a forward.
People understand. People who know.
People who know. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. Let's get to Taking a Lap. And Brownie joining us for Taking a Lap. That's cool. If you're a skilled tradesperson or construction professional and you're looking for work in Western Canada, they want to hear from you. One of Canada's original industrial contractors. If you have a resume, get it their way. Trades@acon.com is the email address. That is trades@acon.com. Looking for skilled tradespeople and construction professionals. Start building what matters today with Acon. All right, Struds, where do you want to go with Taking a Lap, buddy?
I'm actually not in favor of expansion, but there's a lot of rumors going around. You think of Atlanta, think of different areas that maybe want one. Even people have talked about Europe, but the NHL met with billionaire Dan Friedkin. Guy's worth about $6 to $7 billion, probably got enough to buy a team. And he'd like to bring a team to Houston. And this was confirmed by Bill Daly. That is, in fact, they did meet together. So, I mean, Houston's a huge city. It's a huge market. Maybe they could fit it in, but I just feel the balance of 32 guys is so good. But I think that this is going to happen sooner than we think, I bet, Brownie.
Well, it's funny. On our show tonight, or on Ched, we always have John Shannon, who is an insider with all of that kind of stuff. He said that the going rate would be about $1.5 billion per team. Yeah. So 2 teams would be $3 billion split amongst the teams. 4 teams would be $6 billion. There's 6 billion reasons why expansion is going to happen. To me as a player, I'd want that. That's 2 teams is an extra 44 jobs. 4 teams is an extra 88 jobs. So Houston be a great city. I'd love to get one more team in Canada if they could. But yeah, I do believe expansion. Well, the NHL has never been healthier than it is right now. So if you're going to expand while you're healthy. So it will happen. I agree with you.
Going to have to expand the playoffs too, boys.
Yeah. What do you think about a lot of fans immediately, and even here on the stream, say they don't like the delusion of for it to be further diluted, the talent pool. So the lowest end players in the NHL right now, picture them, and then add another 20 players to the league, and you're just diluting the whole thing a little bit too much. Do you buy that, Brownie? Do you run down the talent level to a degree that's noticeable?
Well, yes and no. I mean, the league is more diluted than when I played. I think there was 18 teams in the NHL. Now it's almost double. Mm-hmm. So there's more jobs available. You will have some big games by guys like McDavid and Matthews and McKinnon, because they're going to be playing against teams that, as you said, that'll have minor league players that will be in the lineup, because there will be 40. If there's 2 teams, that's 40 players that are in the minors right now that'll be playing in the National Hockey League. But I don't know. As a hockey player, more jobs, more available jobs, more players get to make money and play in the National Hockey League. Some cool cities will come in, but at the end of the day, it's about money. And $1.5 billion per team, the owners in the National Hockey League like to split that a couple times.
Mm-hmm. What else, Struds?
I can't believe this. In 3 weeks, we're going to be talking about a new all-time goal-scoring leader in the NHL. I'm blown away. So tonight was 888 from the Great 8. And what are we, March 20th? So 3 weeks from now, I think someone predicted it's going to be April 14th. I'm not sure they got that down. I think Ovi's got a hat trick. in his bag, but he's 7 away, guys. 7 away from that. I can't believe it. I cannot believe that that's what we're talking about. And I hope he gets it done this year. And it'll be a massive congratulations to see those fans in Washington are just fired up. So congrats to him, man. He's not there yet, but he can see it.
He can, and I hope it happens on home ice. I think it'd be pretty special if he does it in front of his own fans. No matter where he does it, there will be an ovation. This was one that I don't know if many people expected this Gretzky record to fall. And then, was it 4 years ago, Ovechkin's game had slowed. And you're wondering, okay, is this the end of the era of Alex the Great? And what's he got now? He's got 30-some goals again this year. He might have a 40-goal season at age 40. That's how good this hockey player is. We were fortunate enough to watch Gretzky play. I was fortunate enough to play and watch Mario play. Well, Alex Ovechkin is going to be the greatest goal scorer in the history of the National Hockey League, either in 3 weeks' time or to start next season. That's pretty amazing that we're going to be witnessing history in the next few weeks. So, well, I hope it's in Washington, and I hope it's not an empty net goal. I hope it's a one-timer.
I was just going to ask, do you care, is there a call to be made here by Ovi to pass off if it's an empty net staring him? And there's still 3 games left in the season, or do you just grab that thing when it presents itself, Struds?
Who cares? You've scored. It'll be 800 or whatever it is. He's earned it. If one is an empty netter, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. It's the fact that it closes the line. Who cares? Who cares? It's not like it's 2 goals and one of them is an empty netter. We're talking about almost 900 goals here, guys. It does not matter. Put it in the back, and then I'd bury it so hard in an empty netter, I'd just go crazy.
Do we take anything away from Gretzky's 50 and 39 when the 50th went into the empty net? No, it doesn't matter. I think it'd be more fun to watch him rip one top shelf from a one-timer. But I think he will celebrate just as well or just as hard if it's an empty net goal from inside his own blue line. And I'm going to predict in the next 7 goals, I'm going to predict at least 2 of them will be empty net goals before this season's done.
It's going to be fun. It'll be fun. All right. That was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our good friends over at Acon. And with that, Brownie, your assignment is finished. You can go to bed, buddy.
Well, that was a lot of fun. I'll see you guys in two days, and we can all guess what the lines are going to be that night if we don't have a 29 or a 97. Struds and I we tried doing that earlier. It's hard. It's really hard.
Well, you got to leave the Nugent Hopkins line alone. Other than that, we'll mash through that in the coming days here. Thanks, Brownie.
All right, night, guys.
All right, see you, pal. That was Rob Brown. Zuby, because I was gone, I'm not 100%. Have we done? We haven't done a scoreboard yet, right, Struds?
Yeah, we scoreboard. You got the AB Spirits.
Scoreboard.
We've got
Yeah,
D-Man.
so I was just going to say we haven't done the Spirits thing yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you have not done the scoreboard?
We have done a scoreboard.
You have done a scoreboard. Okay. Okay, so when we come back, we're going to get to our core blue liners, and we'll get to Ask Us Anything. So make sure you fire your comments into the stream so that Zuby can get them to us. We've got a real great number tonight, which we appreciate. So we'll get to that in a minute. Also want to tell you before we go to break about the Alberta Spirit and Cocktail Festival. Set to go this weekend at the Edmonton Events Center, a can't-miss event featuring over 40 local and Canadian distillers. Flair bartending shows. They've got live music, after party, and much more. So if you're interested in this event, tickets are at abspiritsfest.ca. Definitely encourage you to check it out. We'll be right back here on Got Your Back.
Join over 250,000 Canadians who have upgraded to Canada's best mattress. Douglas is proudly made in Canada and ships directly to your door for free. Douglas is easy to set up. Enjoy perfectly balanced comfort and an easy-to-clean machine washable cover. Get a free sleep bundle with your Douglas mattress. Try risk-free for 365 nights. Get your Douglas mattress today.
For over 60 years, Belvedere Golf and Country Club has delivered a high-quality membership experience to Edmonton and area. And now it's even better. Drainage and irrigation improvements in 2024 have taken course conditions to a new level. This commitment to long-term sustainability means exceptional playing conditions all season long. Belvedere's tee sheet availability is unmatched, so join now and experience golf the way it was meant to be played, on your schedule. Visit belvederegcc.com today.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
At gmail.com. Oh, we're back. Where's the thing?
Okay.
This one.
No problem. I love it. We're figuring everything out on the fly.
Thought there was one more at.
Yeah, just yakking away like a couple of dummies when we're back from break. Let's get to Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you are a small to medium-sized business, HSE Core has your back when it comes to health and safety compliance. From creating and managing a tailored health and safety program that meets all legislative and core requirements, they support their client operations every step of the way. www.hsecor.com. Struds, who are we taking a close look at tonight?
Dylan DeMello. This D in Winnipeg is pretty good. Obviously led by Josh Morrissey. Then you've got Neil Pionk, who is in there. Sandberg, a relatively younger guy. And then Dylan DeMello. And I remember he came on my radar. I think he was playing for Ottawa at the time, and I liked his game. The first thing I think of when Dylan DeMello comes in is he's really smart. I think he's a really smart player. He supports his partner well. He understands where to put himself to be an out, and by being an out means someone you can pass to. And then when he gets the puck, he makes smart plays. He puts it where he needs to. He moves it up quick or to his partner or wherever he needs to do it. But that is all hockey IQ, being a smart hockey player. I really, really like how smart he is. He's good skater, Rishaug, but he's not incredibly fast. He's not terribly big. He shoots the puck pretty well, but he's just smart. And I think that's one of the best compliments you can give a D-man.
He competes
one more thing. Sorry,
Yep.
one more thing. He's physical in a way that's irritating because he's kind of always in the way. That's how he defends. Like he's not I made this note. It's a weird way of saying it. His physical play is being in the way. And so like I wrote that note down. I looked down and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing. Like, not dumb. It's just an odd way of defining physical play, but he is in the way. But he's not a big guy. So you can't go in there and plow guys over. So again, sorry for interrupting, but he's physical in the way that he's in the way. So he's a nice complimentary D, but smart out there for sure.
I feel like, back when the Jets got him, I don't know, Struds, would it be fair to say like maybe he wasn't that overly well known? Maybe it was just a blind spot by me because he played out east. But I remember after the trade and watching him play, I was like, they actually got themselves a pretty good D-man here. He was better than I had remembered or that I thought. And he has been a good player for them for a number of years here. He's been reliable. It's turned into a long-term thing. I just remember when they made that trade, I thought that the first few times I saw him play, I went, man, that's a better player than I remembered.
So he started with the Sharks, and I'm not gonna lie, I remember him briefly with the Sharks, but I don't remember anything special.
Yeah.
But then he went to Ottawa, and that's where he kind of came on my radar. I remember watching him think, this guy's a good little player. And little is unfair, a good player. And then Winnipeg made a shrewd trade there, and they got him. He's been there a number of years now. And I get it. Like, that's the kind of little scouting you want to find, right? A guy who's maybe floating on the radar a little bit, and then poof, he pops up. But with hockey smarts like that, it's pretty easy. If you can move around at all, you can make plays. It'll work for him. So he's a nice complimentary D.
Yep, 31 points last season. He's at 16 so far this season, so his numbers maybe a little bit down from where they were last year. But yeah, good D-man on a good team. The Winnipeg Jets are a good team. That was our Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE
Core Services. Zuby, why don't you hop in, buddy? I don't even know what you guys did for a trip for a poll question tonight. I can't wait to hear it, but let's wrap up the results, buddy.
Okay, I got a few things going on here, but you know what? I haven't so many things I haven't even hit the end button to get us the results.
Okay.
But here they come. Here they come.
If people had any idea, Zuby's like a duck on the water, right? He comes on camera, Struds, and he's so calm and so relaxed. If people understood the amount of crap that Zuby juggles while we're in the middle of this show, they would give him relentless player every night, Struddy.
And then my biggest concern is not coming on and asking you guys something and ask us anything that you've already talked about. Because I'm listening, like my listening quotient goes down. It gets smaller as I'm doing other things. Okay, so this was the poll
You're
question.
amazing, buddy. You're amazing.
Thank you.
We're lucky to have you.
Which of these hurt the Oilers the most tonight? The McDavid injury coming in first place, 40% of the vote. The bad shift in overtime, second place, 26%. No Draisaitl, 21%. And undisciplined penalties, 11%. So pretty well split. Lots of good split there. Nearly 400 votes on the stream. And maybe
I'm interested in that. I'm interested in that because do you mean like which of these hurt the Oilers the most in tonight's game? Or like which of these things that happened tonight hurt the Oilers the most? Because if they lose McDavid for any amount of time, then that's the clear winner. But if you want to talk about this game, that shift in overtime. I mean, that shift in overtime cost them the point. They could have gone to a shootout. They might have had a chance to win it. So to me, it was clear. Did you pick one, Struds?
Yeah, I think I went the overtime goal.
Yeah.
That one was tough. But on the third goal, I also didn't love that one. And not because it was going around the net. I see some chatter on the stream. Paul Colson had the puck at the hash mark. And instead of going out and out, hard up and out, just get it out of the zone, he turned it back into his zone. Now we got a problem, Houston. So it's always hard. Like there's always moments that happen well before the goal that people forget about or don't notice that go unreported. And that was a rough play, really rough play. Understanding the moment. That's the trust factor, right?
Did you have something else there, Zuby? Are we done that?
No, done on the poll. Moving on.
So time for Ask Us Anything?
Yeah.
Do you have the buttons ready to push? You can push the buttons for Ask Us Anything. Time now for Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies, founded in 1976. BJ Electric Supplies is a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. They're proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. I'm going to take the liberty of choosing the first one, and it comes to us. I know you're humble, Zuby, but bring it onto the screen from Dallas Scarlett. Dallas Scarlett says, I don't envy Zuby's job. Handling technology for a live stream is no joke. You got to be on the ball with virtually no margin for error. Kudos to Zub. Yes, kudos to you, Zuby.
Thank you, Mr. Scarlett.
Is that a burner account, Zoobs?
Yes. It's my dad's.
Amazing. You could type all that in so quickly. You could type all that in while you're so busy managing the stream.
I texted my dad, told him to get that in there. Okay, let's get to the what I didn't get to do is kind of whittle down my Ask Us Anything list here. But let's talk about the tickets that our friend Klima's Lid is going to give away. And I hope Shogger, the email you sent me, that was the first one that came in with the correct.
The first one that came in, buddy. That was the winner. That's why I sent it to you.
Okay, so unofficially, we're going to say that our winner, I'm sure it'll all work out, but unofficially, our winner is Toby Jansen, who came in and indicated that Struddy was traded for Gino Ojic. And you may have talked about this before, Struds, but just bear with me here. Resid Man says, did Struddy ever fight Gino Ojic? Did you and Gino ever tussle?
Yeah, I mean, first off, that was a franchise-altering trade for the Canucks, and I did. That next night, I fought him right away. We flew there with the Islanders to play, and we got traded the night before, and we fought the next day. I was mad because he said he didn't know who he got traded for, and that I have a huge ego. Well, had a huge ego, and that was it. So we fought that next night. Yeah.
Are you serious, Struds? He said that and it actually pissed you off?
Yeah. So to make a long story short, I got traded. I was picked up 2 minutes later by like the Vancouver or whatever PR people. Took me down to the rink, and Gino was doing a press conference. So he walks out. I walk into the same room, and they're like, "How do you feel about Gino Ojic saying doesn't mind being traded? Just doesn't like to be traded for a nobody?" And I'm like, "What? What did you say?" And so obviously I didn't feel good about it. I'm like, "Oh well, I don't remember. I just kind of BS my way through it, and then I went back to my hotel, called my parents, and said I got traded. Like, oh, geez, to where? I'm like, Vancouver. So the next day, I'm like, if I'm playing, I'm going to fight this guy. And I was so nervous. So I fought him and whatever. It was okay. Like he probably got the better of me. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, he was a tough guy, right? And it was probably the best thing I could have done. Mike Keenan, my teammates, they loved it. The fans, they loved it. And then after the game, they said, "Why did you fight Gino?" I said, "Well, said he didn't know who he was, so I thought I'd introduce myself." And it was in the paper the next day. It was a great line. And to his credit, Gino apologized a few years later, and we actually became friends. We used to I had him on my radio show a couple times. And I wasn't really that mad. Like, I get it, I understand, like, but still, you have an ego. I was 22. I had a huge ego at that point, like of pride.
And back then, this was born.
Yeah, get no respect.
Origin story of that soundbite right there. He seatbelted you right away, Struds. He grabbed on both your arms. He held on at first. You struggled to get loose.
But the problem is that, I know it's funny, as he was holding me, I was like, what's this guy doing? Why is he not punching me? And just when I realized he's like, oh, he's tiring me out, he let go. I'm like, oh God. Down we go. Like, stupid. And I never made that mistake again. Probably another 90 fights after that. Not one time did I forget that.
He seatbelted you hard, and you like you were struggling to get loose, for sure.
That was smart.
Good stuff.
He was smart and savvy. I was dumb and young and just trying to kill someone.
So gutsy though, dude. So gutsy of you to do. All right, Zuby, let's keep him rolling, buddy. Let's rip off a bunch quick here.
Just quickly, funny enough, I played against Gino at men's league in Burnaby. And he was didn't play in the regular season and was trying to whittle his way in. Had a doctor's note to come in to play in the playoffs, and they beat it. His team knocked us out in the first round. Really close games though. I actually made a bunch of saves off of him, but he was in a different space in beer league than he was in the show. Okay, Ro Nelson, always a passionate fan here. She says, Arvidsson -3, Podkolzin -1, RNH -1, but old Jeff Skinner, 2 goals, 3 hits, and +2. Yet even the demoralizing coach doesn't play him for the hat trick in overtime, most resilient and most improved. Obviously, overtime ended at a certain point, but were you surprised that we didn't see Jeff Skinner in overtime, Struddy?
Yes, I was. And I think that he really has to earn everything he gets. He really does. And then Arvidsson is out there, wheeling and dealing. And and listen, you can't. It's unfair to say, well, this guy should or this guy shouldn't. But he had 2 goals on the night. I think you have to keep trying to feed him.
Is it at all possible that this is like a strategy they're using with this person and with this player?
Yeah,
just you got to keep him hungry, keep him off balance, keep him hungry. Like, you can't overfeed him or it goes away. That's the only logical explanation I have for the way that it has gone for Jeff Skinner here, is that they've evaluated his past and looked at the way things have gone and maybe talked to some people, and maybe the word that they get is, you really got to make him earn it, and that's when you get the best out of him. Because other than that explanation, Struds, I'm not sure.
And this coach is very wise. And I think we don't credit him enough for the way he kind of pushes button on players and specifically look at the playoffs, how he found the right lineup combination.
I think we give him lots of credit. We talk all the time about it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was specific individual players. I don't know if we always dial it in to this level that you just sort of suggested, because I don't understand it. I don't even, so maybe the most obvious answer is the one you just suggested. So because I don't know. Maybe that's it.
Ronnie Oceanfront with an interesting question here. He wants to know what generally happens once a player leaves the game with an injury. Does the doctor come to diagnose the injury, or how does it work? Or how would it have worked for whatever Connor was going through tonight, Struddy?
Yeah. So if it's your seventh defenseman, it's like, we'll get someone down there when we get a chance. When it's Connor McDavid, there's an ambulance waiting at the bench to bring him into the room. Like there's a big difference. And so generally speaking, they bring you in, they'd get you somewhat comfortable or whatever, like whatever you need, but the doctor be right there. How are you feeling? Or the trainer first, then the doctor, how are you feeling? Okay, let's take a look at it. They try to examine it. Then they might do some treatment quick if there's like a cut or something. If not, they'll do some treatment, and then they'll, maybe think about, this is a plan. Let's look at this tomorrow morning. Let's reevaluate in 24 hours. But there's a doctor on site right away. And when you're on the road, the home team doctor comes and sees you right away. And they're really good. Like the few times I was injured on the road, the guy would come and it was very professional. They're not like Strudwick broke his shoulder or whatever, right? Like they were professional about it. So yeah, they doctor on site right away.
Kritzer saying on the McDavid injury, there's slowed down vids of it on Twitter. It was a cross check by Morrissey to the side, probably a bruised rib. Is there any? They're calling it lower body. I've seen people talk about his hand, talk about his rib. It looks like there's some. Is the nature of the injury up for debate at all, Schauger?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Like, it looks to me like it's his torso in some way, shape, or form. And I had the binoculars on. I wasn't even watching the play. I was just staring at him through binoculars. And yeah, from what I could see, it looks like it's a torso thing, which, whatever. I think he was dealing with some of that in the playoffs as well. So, yeah, of course it's up for debate. We don't have a full update. What I would say is, and I said this on SportsCenter earlier, so if he's standing there after the game in his suit, hanging out, chit-chatting, obviously it's not serious. With that said, they're going to be very cautious. So my gut tells me we could be talking about a week here, kind of in that range. I don't think this is going to be week after week after week, or that the playoffs are in any way in jeopardy. But even if it is a tweak or something reasonably minor, I still think we see it be close to a week, Struds. I think that's just the way they'll play it. And so
correct me if I'm wrong though, but they play Saturday and then isn't it Monday? Then they don't have a game for 3 days, right?
They play Saturday and then no, they don't play Monday, do they?
Or sorry,
am I missing a game on the schedule?
Or which is it? Tuesday? When do they play Dallas?
It's
Tuesday?
not until Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. So
they play
so
Saturday, Wednesday.
My bad.
Thursday.
Okay, so there's
Saturday,
a break
Wednesday,
between
Thursday.
the three.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't see any chance that they play Saturday, and then you see what happens between now and Tuesday, and then maybe one of them comes back, and then whatever
on the Wednesday,
something like that. So my bad. I thought there was 2 games and a 3-day break. There's 1 game and then a 3-day break. So my bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think you're onto something there, and you've got. There's nothing more important than making sure that this is behind them and they're ready for the stretch run, however long that is for them, and the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, Zuby, can we do one more, 2 more? 1 more?
Yeah, let's do 2 more. This is kind of almost let's do this one first. Paulie, he traveled a long way to see the game tonight. And he says, can we spend some more time on Janmark? What am I missing? Is he not horrendous? 4 out of 5 games. So Paulie really wants us to lay into Matthias Janmark. So we won't necessarily do that. But what do you guys see? What's he bringing? We know.
Go ahead, Zuby. Sorry.
I was just going to say, we know what he brings on the PK, and I guess, is that enough? I guess to just keep him in the lineup, or is there something else that to the untrained eye that we're missing of what he brings to the game?
His breakaway prowess, right? We never did talk about it on the show. Yeah. I've never seen a player telegraph a breakaway from the red line in when he went in 5 or 6 games ago on the backhand the entire way and then rolled it like 6 feet wide on the backhand. Listen, I have a lot of time for Matthias Janmark. I respect the way he plays. I think the coaching staff trusts him.
there's reliability in his game in ways where coaches they're going to want to keep leaning into him. Struds, they like having him in there. So we're poking a little bit of fun at him for some offensive stuff, but there's a valuable player here. I'm not quite as down on him. You?
Zero offensive confidence. Zero. He's got nothing, not a drop in his bucket. There was a chance early, I think it was, I want to say in the second period maybe, where he got it somewhere in the slot and not even close to getting the shot off. Like, it was bobbled, and this guy needs more than anyone in the league a goal, a real goal where he shoots it by a goalie. Zero confidence offensively.
Okay, are you looking at something, Shogger, to continue on
Nope.
that? All right.
Looking at the Oilers schedule up on the wall. Go ahead.
Okay, comment and a question about Gretz and Ovi. Ro Nelson saying Gretzky has 50 more playoff goals than Ovechkin, so the grade 8 will be the best regular season goal scorer, but 99 will remain the GOAT. Something to think about there. And then Paulie says, when Ovi does pass Gretz, does the opposing team line up at center and shake his hand? I think they should and probably will. What will there be, and what's the comparable? What's the last milestone of this magnitude that would have been recognized in this way?
I mean, I can't even. I'm bad at this stuff. We need I don't know if you can think of anything.
I'll tell you, when Gretzky passed Gordie Howe for all-time points.
Yeah, that long ago.
Or the goals. Like, it's crazy. Like, this is crazy that this is how I can't stress how much I thought this was unbreakable. And we're talking about it, and we're so close to it. So to me, that's the last biggest thing ever. That Gretzky beating it, either the all-time points or this goal thing. That's the only two I'd even put in the same category.
All right. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by our friends over at BJ Electric Supplies. And thank you for all those amazing contributions. All right, let's get to our play of the day. Brought to you by Gallery Dental, offering a full range of services designed to keep your smile healthy. Their experienced team provides personalized care with the latest technology to make sure you get the best treatment possible. Contact GalleryDentalYEG.com. So, Struddy, I got this one. So the Prime Minister showed up at Oiler practice, unbeknownst to all of us earlier on today. And no, I am not making that our play of the day before any of you leap through your computer and try and strangle me. Right. So tweeted a couple of videos of the Prime Minister skating around on the ice, because I'm a reporter covering practice that day, and the Prime Minister showed up. So you shoot it and you tweet it. And if you guys want a little fun after the show, hop into my mentions. It is an absolute steaming cesspool in my mentions. They're always not great, but oh my goodness. Some of you, take a beat and relax a little bit. Wow. But there's the odd gem in there, Struds. I got to say, through all of the garbage and the mayhem, there's the odd gem in there, and so we'll have a laugh with our play of the day. Is a little gem that came out of my mentions, tweeting a video of Mark Carney skating. Zuby, you got it there?
Yeah.
So it is from Terry, another old small forward. Let me guess, he has a no movement clause. So bravo to you, Terry. Of all of the garbage that was in my mentions, you had a shiny little beacon of humor there. Definitely appreciated that. Nice work, Terry. You get play of the day.
We got a secondary play of the day that I got from our friend Steve, which is that his son Evan won provincials tonight.
Oh, so, nice!
Wow. Congratulations.
So he sent this in as well. I didn't realize Steve does the live streams for his team. He's doing play-by-play. If you go to the live streams for his kids, it's Steve's voice. He's on there doing play-by-play.
And that's amazing.
And they smoked, I think they said Whitehorse. They smoked them 9-1 or something. Of course, we don't. Everybody tries their hardest. It's nice to win, but it sounds like it was pretty lopsided. So that came in from just Steve.
That's awesome
tonight.
Guys, we actually have we have a third one. And I am hesitant to call my own number, but I'm going to. I was on the Sportsnet desk today. And Bob Stauffer gave me a shot earlier. So I'm like, okay, I'll get my chance. So I was asking about the Oilers' power play. And I said, well, they look like Bob Stauffer on the dance floor, uncomfortable. And it was, my phone exploded in my pocket. Like I was dying. I was laughing. But Bob was really funny today. So I'm like, I got to take a shot too. I got to fight back. So a triple header.
What did he say to you? What was his chirp to you? I didn't get to see it.
Something about Walman and how it was like he looked like a young Jason Strudwick blocking shots. Like it wasn't mean spirited, but it was like, okay, we're in this. He's in this mood, and I when Bob's like that, is so much fun. Like I'm like, okay, we're doing this. This is happening. And
By the
looks
way,
like Bob's off on the
Zuby,
dance floor, uncomfortable.
That's awesome, Struddy. I love it. 3 plays of the day, and an honorable mention last night at the UConn event, Struds. So Zuby, they're doing this auction last night, and they're auctioning off a lunch with Struddy and Gene and I and a bunch of guys. And it's not going very well. For some reason, it just started a little slow. So I bid on the auction. I bid on the lunch myself.
Yeah.
And everyone sort of had a chuckle. And then that got the bidding going. But it stalled. And so Donovan Workin and Graham Neal were running the auction.
Okay,
Two
nice.
hilarious dudes. You know them both, Zuby.
Yeah.
So they decide to try and gin up a little bit more action. They come at Struds and I and our hair. Donovan did 2 minutes on Struds and I and needing Turkish transplants. They had the place rolling on the floor laughing. And I normally, but it got the bids up, Struddy. It juiced up the bid, so it was worth it, buddy. But we took a beating last night.
You know what? And I felt really bad for you because I don't know why he included me, but I did feel so bad for you. I think I put my hand on your shoulder at one point.
Struds, if we want to talk about who's eligible, about we should get a quote done, and I guarantee yours would be more expensive. Surface area required fixing. It's not even close between you and me.
I've actually looked at it. I've looked at the Turk. They're very nice. The Turkish, they know what they're doing. The Turks.
Should we go do it together? Hey, let's plan it. One of these summers. Let's go do it together, buddy. Let's do it. Why not?
But the funniest part, Donovan's like, they'd be wearing their headbands around like LeBron James. Like I was like, oh my God. I was like, let's just get out of here. I just want to sit there and laugh. I don't want to be joked at. Like I like it, but you're like, God, why? Because you know what's coming. You know they're going to come after us.
Oh, we got killed. Just for a good cause.
He's so funny too. That's what bothers me. So funny, that guy.
He is funny.
Did you didn't get on stage this year? You didn't tell your joke, your tired arms joke.
I just wanted to hide. Because you know what? I know when I'm going in there, I have a huge target on my back. And I get it. I chirp a lot too, but please not tonight. I just want to sit there.
Oh, yeah. And he just teed off. Teed off
they're
hard.
so funny.
He also did an amazing Jack Michaels impersonation too.
Oh, my God.
All night long he was doing it. He's off the schneid. He was all night long. It was a great event. Can't wait till next year.
Yeah, they're so good.
Yeah.
God, that bothers me. But they are funny. I hate it, but love it at the same time.
Because it's true. Because it is true.
Yeah,
we'll look into it, Struds. We'll plan a trip. You and me off to Turkey we go next summer. Summer 2026. Good job tonight, Zuby. Thanks, pal.
Yeah, thanks, guys. That was lots of
Good
fun.
work, buddy.
Fun show.
Yeah, and thanks to all of you on the stream. Really appreciate you joining us. Look, it's like 12:15, and we still have tons and tons of people on the live stream with us. We got the best viewers and listeners, and we love you. So thanks for being along for the ride here on Got Your Back, and we'll chat with you in a couple of days. Maybe a McDavid update tomorrow. Keep an eye on my Twitter feed, and keep it locked on to TSN. I'll be down at the rink looking for updates. We'll talk soon. See ya.